Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Admiral Neffenger. At the beginning of your testimony, you said your first point of focus is a focus on the mission. I pulled up your mission statement for TSA, and it says, protect the nation's transportation systems to ensure freedom of movement for people and commerce. I've been reading reports that your agents, in the midst of this crisis, of making sure in the increasing terrorism threat that people are able to fly safe, we don't have another terrorist attack in America. And that also people are able to move quickly to get to where they need to be. But I've seen reports that your agents are being pulled to support things like presidential campaign events, concerts, sporting events, and other things. I don't see that anywhere within your core mission and your core responsibilities. So my first question is, under what authority is TSA screening Americans on their way into a sporting or concert or presidential campaign rally? And secondly, where does that fit into the priorities? If everything we've heard today about the importance of keeping our transportation safe and making sure that people can get there in a timely manner in this manning sort of crisis, where is the priority of supporting these events that have nothing to do with your core mission?
Well, right now we provide support to Secret Service when they ask under an intergovernmental service agreement, and we currently have detailed. I shouldn't say detailed. They're on standby. We have 75 people on standby to assist with presidential security events over the course of the summer. We will likely be asked
presidential
to do that.
or campaign?
We'll be likely asked to do this at the conventions, wherever the Secret Service is providing.
So there's reports there's been over 250 events that TSA agents have been supporting.
We have supported events around the country. I've been working with the people who are asking for us to let them know that we're in our own crisis right now, and we'd like to have as many of those people back as possible.
Okay, so prioritization, you don't get to say no?
Well, with Secret Service, we support that because that's a pretty important mission, and we're for the federal government, we're the screening experts.
Look, I agree it's important to make sure that people that are attending these large-scale events are safe, but I don't see that anywhere within the core competency of TSA and your mission. Do you agree?
Our core mission is transportation security. Yes, ma'am. Okay,
so is there possibly, would you agree if we can work on a better way to make sure that people going to concerts are safe while allowing you to focus on your core mission?
I would like to be fully focused on my core mission.
Okay. Well, thank you. Secondly, I sent you a letter on April 12th asking a number of questions related to the issues that are at our hearing today. I asked if you'd get back to me by April 26th. It's about 29 days ago. I haven't heard back from you yet. I was wondering when I might be getting an answer to this letter.
Let me find out. I'm not sure why you don't have an answer.
Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to put my letter into the record and ask the Admiral to just respond in writing for the record as part of this hearing.
Without objection, so ordered.
Great, thanks. Tomorrow, Mr. Katko's subcommittee is going to be holding a hearing, bringing some of the representatives of airports. My CEO of Tucson Airport Authority will be there, which I appreciate. She participated in the roundtable that we had last week, where we had a very fruitful and vigorous discussion on some of their concerns and ideas. A couple things that we're seeing going on in a small airport like Tucson. People are paying the $85 to go through PreCheck. They're giving their biometric information to the government, but then showing up at the airport and the PreCheck lane is closed. We have 2 terminals, and on average, the PreCheck lane's only been open 5 hours a day total for the 2 terminals, with really little to no flexibility. So this is a concern we're hearing really from around the country, that if people are going to spend the money and the time to go through it, the PreCheck lane needs to be open. Are you aware of this issue, and is there anything in the works to rectify this?
Yes, I am aware of that issue, and my goal is to get those PreCheck lanes open throughout the day so that they're available when passengers arrive. Some of that is a staffing issue, and some of that is a scheduling issue. And so the focus that we're putting now on daily, hourly operations is showing us where we're having that problem. Some of that is just best practices across the system, and some of that is availability of people to go through that. In the absence of that, the other thing that we're doing is dramatically changing the way we move people through. So you move PreCheck people right to the front of the line, and you get them through in a PreCheck way, even if it's a standard line. So opening up the PreCheck lane or the line, even if you don't have enough people to open that lane at that moment. And so you have to build enough capacity or build enough volume to justify pulling, the bodies off to open a PreCheck lane. But this is my goal is to make sure that if we're going to promise a service to people, that you can deliver that service across the system.
Great. One of the other themes of that roundtable, and I'm sure we'll hear it again tomorrow on the record, is the feeling by the airlines and the airport authorities that the lack of flexibility by the FSDs to work in partnership with the airlines and the airport authority to make tactical decisions. They feel like there's a top-down approach coming from Washington, D.C. In Tucson, this is even worse because we're part of this spoke operation where our FSD is in Phoenix. So even if you're giving flexibility to that person, the leader down in Tucson is still stuck with these top-down answers coming out of Washington, D.C. and sometimes Phoenix. Are you willing, this shouldn't take an act of Congress, are you willing to sort of relieve some of that and allow more bottom-up decisions so that the leader on the ground for TSA at that airport can make more decisions?
Absolutely. In fact, that's the message I've been sending out consistently to my field leaders. So I think I go back to my military model. You know, if I'm a field commander, and I have resources, I know what my mission is, then I want to be able to do that to the best of my ability and reach out as I need for additional help.
Well, they're being told their hands are tied and that they're being directed by Washington, D.C. when the pre-check lanes.
Well, I have new leadership now that isn't following that model,
okay.
and I've made it very clear that they do, and I'm checking on that to make sure that they're
things like that shouldn't take an act of Congress, as you know.
No, I mean it took an act of me, and I said, look, that's the way things have to happen.
Great, thanks. Sorry, Mr. Chairman, for going over. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
No problem. Thank you.